Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the epic mythological journey of a divine cosmic warrior. We're exploring the incredible story of Murugan, who you might also know as Kartikeya, Skanda, or Subramanya. It's honestly one of the most dynamic, multifaceted narratives in all of Hindu mythology. It effortlessly bridges these massive, world-ending cosmic battles with some seriously profound, grounded spiritual philosophy. So here's the central mystery we are unpacking for you today. How exactly did an invincible, six-faced god of war end up as a barefoot hermit on a South Indian hill? We're going to trace his incredible path, connecting his high fantasy origins as the ultimate commander of celestial armies with the deeply human, super relatable emotions that ultimately pushed him toward a life of asceticism and inner peace.
All right, Section 1, the birth of Arumuga, the six-faced god.
The story kicks off with what's basically a cosmic experiment, sparked by an urgent need to defeat this unstoppable demon named Tarakasura. Lord Shiva's fiery seed was so intensely hot that no one could hold it. First, it fell to Agni, the fire god, but even he couldn't handle the heat. From there, it was transferred into the river Ganges and eventually placed into the wombs of 6 celestial star nymphs known as the Kritikas. Finally, the goddess Parvati stepped in, using her massive mystical powers to merge these 6 distinct beings into one.
This miraculous merging resulted in a very specific, powerful number, 6. He became Arumuga, the six-faced god, because he was born from these 6 different beings and nurtured in this completely wild, unique way. He possessed 6 sterling qualities, all perfectly combined into a single, phenomenally capable form. I mean, even as a young kid, his abilities were just absolutely unparalleled.
Which brings us to Section 2, Commander of the Heavens. Get this, by the tender age of 8, yes, 8 years old, this unbeatable youth was named Senapati. He became the commander-in-chief of the entire celestial army. Armed with the divine Shaktivel, which is a mystical spear gifted by his mother, he totally wiped the floor with the ultimate menace, Tarakasura. He struck him right in the chest and literally saved the heavens from total destruction.
But these aren't just weapons of war. They're actually deeply symbolic tools for spiritual seekers. Take the Va, for instance. It represents the power to pierce right through human ego and ignorance. His mount, the peacock, symbolizes victory over worldly desire and pride. And the rooster on his flag? That's all about transforming our lower animalistic instincts into divine, awakened energy. So, every single part of his iconography is teaching us a crucial lesson about internal conquest.
Let's look at Section 3, the Great Mango Contest. Now, the narrative takes a really sharp turn from cosmic world-saving to an intensely relatable family drama. Over a piece of fruit, Lord Shiva challenges his sons to circle the world 3 times to win a divine supreme mango, basically the ultimate fruit of knowledge. Kartikeya took this task completely literally. He immediately hopped onto his swift-flying peacock and zoomed all the way around the globe. Meanwhile, his brother Ganesha took the challenge a bit more subjectively and simply walked in a circle around his parents.
Ganesha's logic was actually quite brilliant. He just told his parents, "For me, you are the universe." And that clever insight won him the prize. So when an exhausted Kartikeya finally returns from literally flying around the entire world, he finds Ganesha just happily eating the mango. As you can imagine, Kartikeya felt furiously cheated and deeply misunderstood, realizing his parents valued subjective wisdom over his literal physical exertion. In his profound anger and, honestly, his sense of injustice, the great warrior shed his princely identity. He tossed aside his fine clothes, his royal status, the whole shebang, and left his home in Mount Kailasha. He traveled way down to South India, initially looking to wage war against injustice, but ultimately seeking spiritual isolation and peace as a hermit.
And that marks the beginning of Section 4, The Legend of Palani. This brings us right to the Palani Hills, where the cosmic myth physically anchors itself into real-world geography and history. The story goes that sage Agastya asked a powerful asura, or demon named Idumban, to carry 2 massive hills southward on his shoulders to balance the earth. But when Idumban set them down to take a break, he suddenly realized there was no way he could lift them again. He then noticed a young boy standing on top of one of the hills, challenged him to a fight, and was just easily defeated. That youth? Well, that was revealed to be Murugan himself, claiming the spot as his new home. This whole mythology perfectly explains the origin of the region's unique geography and its incredible devotion. So the mighty general of the heavens was now known as Dandapani, He transformed into a simple ascetic. We're talking a young recluse, shorn of his hair, dressed in nothing but a loincloth, and armed with a simple staff, or dundum, instead of his mighty spear. He realized that fighting 1,000 physical battles wasn't going to change the world. True revolution had to happen within the mind and spirit.
Now, what's really fascinating about bhawani is the material used to create its famous idol, known as Navapashanam. The sage Bogar crafted this deity not out of standard stone or metal, but from a highly secret amalgam of 9 poisonous herbs and rocks. It sounds crazy, but when mixed in a very precise ratio, it actually forms an eternal medicine. The rituals performed over this idol are believed to absorb those medicinal properties, transferring real healing energy right to the devotees.
Finally, let's look at our last section, the god of the south. Today, this barefoot hermit is fiercely beloved across South India, with literally millions flocking to his 6 sacred abodes. And the devotees don't just visit, they actively participate in his epic story through some incredibly demanding physical traditions. They carry the kavadi, a physical burden of wood or steel balanced on their shoulders, mirroring Idamban carrying the hills. They practice tunsaring, shaving their heads to match Murugan's ascetic form. They also anoint themselves with sandalwood paste and take strict 48-day vows of abstinence before making the pilgrimage entirely barefoot.
Devotees visiting the temple even receive a specific sweet prasad called panchamritam. It's this rich mixture of 5 ingredients: banana, honey, ghee, jaggery, and cardamom. It's actually so culturally unique that it has its own geographical indication tag. But more importantly for our story, it serves as a delicious symbolic echo of that very fruit of knowledge that sparked the famous mango contest back in Kailasha. While he's primarily worshipped as an ascetic in Palani, his dynamic, balanced nature is represented in other traditions by his 2 wives. Devasena embodies Kriya Shakti, the power of action, while his other wife, Valim, embodies Icha Shakti, which is willpower. Together, they represent the precise blend of action and willpower needed for ultimate spiritual victory, perfectly balancing the warrior and the sage within him. And because of all this, he's a deity known by 108 distinct names, each highlighting a different phase of his journey. There's Skanda, the vanquisher of foes, Shanmukha, the 6-faced one, Guha, the invisible lord, and Kumara, the eternal youth. Every single title beautifully reflects a different facet of his incredible transformation from a fire-born cosmic baby to an omniscient, grounded teacher. His physical journey on Earth ended in a way that just perfectly matched his extraordinary life. At a peak called Kumara Pravat, he attained Mahasamadhi, which is a conscious exit from the physical body. But here's the thing. Unlike most yogis who leave their bodies while sitting or lying down, Murugan uniquely dropped his body in a standing warrior pose. The source material notes that he left behind an incredibly powerful energy on that mountain that still physically and spiritually shakes visitors to their very roots today. So, as you reflect on this epic tale of transformation, from a supreme commander of the heavens to an enlightened hermit god, I want you to ask yourself, what inner conflicts do you need to resolve to finally find your own peace? If his spear, the Val, represents piercing through our own ego and ignorance, what battles are you still fighting externally that really just need to be conquered internally? Thanks for exploring the incredible journey of Murugan with me today. Keep seeking, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.